So,
We ran in.
Goofy dog. Anyway, come here. Trying to get my cat to come over here. Just don't bite my fingers off, please. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and like I haven't slept at all. And like I went, like I had to like, anyway, but yeah, I kind of just like want to like draw and stuff, so that's pretty much all I'm gonna do. Draw. Here, wait. Let me make sure you don't fall because you're at a risky angle here. Wait. Wait. That's not gonna work. So we're gonna tell you that never happened. Whatever. Peanut butter jelly time, we stick together day and night. Oh, help, my little boo-boo won't let go of my finger.
Up, my La Boo Boo won't let go of my finger.
Okay, that was...
I stumbled onto this link for
Why are you trying to hire a
joining a
hitman?
chat
That's
room.
my biggest
read,
concern.
Blank soup.
Blank
Thinking
soup?
I found
What?
what I was looking for.
Oh,
I clicked
never
on
mind. I
it.
think I know what that
The
is.
screen started loading and I couldn't keep still.
Hit it if you would.
Why is it taking so long?
Wait, hit it if you would.
Just when I started to think that I had been scammed,
Y'all, Felix is
the page
dancing.
redirected me to life.
He dancing.
A man wearing a
Now we
white tank
dancing,
top
girl.
was
We
sitting in
blanch.
front of a
I
table
live up
in
the
an
mansion.
empty room that had nothing but white walls.
Ow.
His face was down and he looked malnourished like he hadn't eaten in days. At first, I thought he was unconscious, but then suddenly, he looked up. There was fear in his face. His eyes were wide and he started breathing heavily looking at the camera. I could count the bones in
get
his
back on the
ribcage
pencil.
each time he inhaled.
What the?
Suddenly, the door behind him opened and a guy dressed in a
Wait.
weird costume, identical costume guys intended to overfeed this man with chicken soup. The man ate and ate until he couldn't anymore. He
We're just gonna
vomited
draw
on
my
that
OC
table.
because
His body was shaking and his
I
eyes
have
were
not
screaming
drawn
for
him
help, staring into the
on
camera.
paper yet.
But those guys kept patting his
I've only
back,
ever drawn
stroking
him
the hair
on
on his head
iPad.
like he was their loving child. And they
On
just
my
wanted him
iPad.
to be healthy. People who were watching this video with me
I would show you, but my
had
iPad is like,
started to
oh,
comment under the live stream by
we're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
decided
My
to
friend
leave the
totally
house.
didn't call.
The next day I would tell the neighbors what happened. As soon as I got home and told my family,
Now
we all went to see the woman through the window, but she was gone. I thought about calling the police to let them know, but it didn't make any sense. Surely I would never see that woman again, or so I thought.
What? Who could it be at this hour?
When I woke up, it was after 2 a.m. Who would be ringing
Why are you
my
sleeping
doorbell
until
so
2 a.m.?
late? It was her. The same
You'll be
woman
sleeping
who
the
had been
entire
ringing
night.
the neighbor's door. Now
I
she
can't
was
be
at
talking,
my
bro.
house.
I don't even
What
sleep.
do you want? Get out of here or I'll call the police.
Hey, let me in. Let me in now. This is my house.
Little pig, let me in.
You're mistaken.
Oh, by the hair on my head, change engine.
In response to my refusal, the woman rang the doorbell more and more violently.
Hold up, I'm
This
trying to look
is
for
my house,
something.
and I will come in. Open my door.
Ma'am, you do not live here.
What's going on?
And
You are
I
not
called the
back.
police. Tell them there's someone trying to break into our house.
I approached the door again, and when I looked through the hole, I jumped back in shock.
What the? Get away from my house! We're calling the police!
Suddenly,
Stop laughing like
the
that.
woman began to laugh hysterically.
Okay, we're gonna fix
The
that.
same way she
There we
laughed
go.
when she was at the neighbor's house. She was
Girl.
not only ringing the doorbell, but also kicking the door angrily. But she never stopped laughing.
I don't want to hear anything.
With each passing
He's part German
second,
Shepherd, so I don't want to
this
hear
woman
anything from
became
you.
more and more violent. She
That is
started
not how a
ripping
German
all the
Shepherd
plants
is
out of
look,
their
but
pots and throwing them against my door.
today it
The
is.
neighbors' windows were slowly opening, and they were looking at us with concern.
This is my house! My house! My house! My house!
That's concerning. But
Nobody
okay.
knew what was going on. The woman ran around the whole house, looking for a way to get in. Through the back door, through the windows. She was just trying to get in somehow. Even though Anna had taken the children upstairs, I could hear them crying inconsolably. The woman went back to the main entrance and kept ringing the doorbell frantically. She was ramming the door as hard as she could while still ringing the doorbell every chance she got. I knew it was impossible for her to break down the door, since it was fortified, but I held it anyway. I was terrified of what would happen if somehow
Ew.
this woman managed to get into my house. But after a few seconds of struggle, the police arrived. They didn't need to ask her what was going on, because as soon as she saw them, she ignored them and kept ringing the doorbell. She did not put up any resistance to being stopped, but for some reason, I could see how she forced her arm out and kept ringing the doorbell. The police told me that this woman had never caused a disturbance before. She had no criminal record and was not under the influence of any drugs. We never knew why she did what she did, although honestly, I never asked. Today, we still wonder what would have happened if this woman had gotten into our house. I mean,
She would have been in
wasn't
your house.
armed and she didn't look particularly strong. In theory, she looked like a normal woman. But if you had been there, if you had seen her terrifying honey-colored eyes staring back at you, you would have understood
Absolutely
that
not.
this woman was capable of anything.
Her eyes is like low-key kind of
On
pretty
March
though,
27,
because they look like honey.
2022, in California,
Oh.
a strange woman
She
began
hitting the
ringing the
camera.
doorbell of a family home. The woman claims to the owner that this is her home. In this dramatization, we saw everything that happened, only omitting the high frequency of explicit language that the real footage has.
Who are you looking for?
Hello?
Oh, wait. Look, you got the wrong house here, Sneeko.
Oh, well, I dropped my thing into my house.
There
No,
used
not-
to be this
not
girl
your
I
house.
babysat when I was in high school, and she was in primary school. Her name was Rachel. She was the oldest of 3 girls, and in pretty much every
That
way
was your house
possible,
and you'd be able to
she
get
was
in,
perfect.
but
Her
guess
young
what? You're not in.
siblings would always faithfully follow her
Don't
example,
mind this, my
which
friend
made
totally didn't
babysitting
take
for
a
that
bite out of
family
it.
the easiest job I ever had. She was so beautiful too, and I knew she would have a bright future and would be loved by everyone in her life. Honestly, I was a little jealous of that, but I was still sad when she got old enough to take care of herself and her younger siblings. Then, eventually, I went off to college, so for several years I never saw Rachel or her family. In my 3rd year of studying psychology, I finally had a reason to reach out to her and catch up. I was doing a study on the effects of meditation, and I needed some subjects. Since I could use anybody for the study, I decided that the first person I wanted to use was Rachel. She was
That's
the
kinda-
perfect person.
Okay.
Hello?
You do
Hi,
good,
is
bro.
this Rachel? It's me, Caroline. Oh my god, Caroline! It's been so long. How are you? I'm good. Been very busy with college. I missed you a lot. I missed you too. I've been struggling a bit with high school. It was better when you were here helping me with my homework. So, anyway, what made you call?
What the flip?
Well, I might have an opportunity for you to make some money. I just need to pick your brain about a few things and ask that you keep it a secret. How
does
much
not
money?
Look like what it's
$100.
supposed to.
$100? Deal. Great.
I'm gonna
Can
pay
you
someone
meet me tomorrow?
$100. That's
I
crazy.
sure can. I'll
Just
be at
for
the
that?
Richmond station around 5:30 once I get off school.
I was excited to meet up with Rachel as soon as possible. I wasn't in any rush to finish the study, but I just wanted to see her again. I made sure to be there to meet her just before she got there. It's hard to describe just how my heart fluttered when I saw Rachel again. She was even more amazing than I remembered. But the greatest part about seeing her then was that instead of hanging out at her parents' house with her other siblings, I got to take her over to my house for the first time. Just us. We caught up on the train ride over to my part of town, and we got so talkative that I completely forgot to mention the study I was doing. When we got off the train and started walking to my apartment, we passed by a pizza place. We were both a little hungry, so we decided to stop in and get a pie. Afterwards, I also picked up a case of beer. Rachel was a little apprehensive to drink, but I assured her it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm not sure I'm old enough for that, Caroline. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm not your babysitter anymore. It won't hurt to loosen up a little. Well, if you say so.
When we reached my apartment, we hung out for a couple more hours, eating pizza, drinking beer, and just laughing and reminiscing about the old days, really having the best of times. Then, out of nowhere, I remembered I was supposed to be doing a study on Rachel.
Oh, crap. I forgot all about it. I'm sorry. I should have reminded you. No, it's okay. We can still do it. Let me just set up the room.
The study involved recording the difference in a person's mood before and after a 15-minute session of meditation. There was more to it than that, but it's been so many years since then I could hardly remember. I started with a short questionnaire. Then I lit some candles and turned off the lights. Then I guided Rachel through a simple practice of meditation.
Don't say anything.
Controlling her breathing, letting go of her
Don't
thoughts,
say anything.
and becoming mindful of her body and her surroundings.
You
Something
do know
strange
her,
started
right?
happening after a few minutes, though. After I got Rachel in a good state and let her be for a bit, I was supposed to check in on her and ask her the same questions as before. However, she had become almost unresponsive, like she could barely hear me or even remember that I was there. She wouldn't open her eyes either, and even when
Should
she
just
did
kill
try
her?
to respond to me, her words were so slurred together that I couldn't understand a word she was saying. Then, out of nowhere, she fell back on the bed and passed
I
out.
think you killed her.
Rachel, are you okay?
She only got worse from there, twitching like she was having some kind of seizure and foaming at the mouth.
Oh my god. Rachel, wake up!
I tried to shake her from the episode, but she was inconsolable. It was almost like she was possessed.
Huh?
Oh, Rachel, please. Are you in there? Rachel? Rachel, if you're awake, tell me now.
There was no response from her, just silence.
Perfect.
Finally, my plan was working. A bunch of greasy food, some alcohol, a bit of calming meditation, and a whole lot of sleeping pills crushed up and sprinkled on her slices of pizza while she wasn't looking was making her totally catatonic and vulnerable. Now, she was completely defenseless. I grabbed the telephone cord on my nightstand and wrapped it around Rachel's neck and then squeezed with all my might.
Huh?
But then, somehow, Rachel woke up.
Caroline, what are you doing?
Don't fight it.
She was stronger than I thought, but I was always bigger than her. In 1999, an Australian girl named Rachel Barber unknowingly made a decision that would cost her life. Her once trusted babysitter, Caroline Robertson, offered Rachel a seemingly easy and harmless way to earn a bit of quick cash. Little did Rachel know, Caroline had long been jealous of her looks and natural talents, and planned to literally replace her and become her. For this to happen, Caroline hatched a plan to lure Rachel into a trap, where she would make it seem like the teenage girl had run away from home and disappeared. But in reality, Caroline planned to make sure Rachel was never seen alive again. Afterwards, Caroline planned to lose 50 pounds, get a nose job, and then even change her name to Rachel Barber. However, after a week of searching for their missing daughter, Caroline Robertson was connected to the disappearance and brought into custody. It took her months to finally admit to the truth of what she did. Caroline Robertson was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison, but she was released 5 years early in 2015.
This happened when I was working to keep up with my college bills. I lived in a small apartment close to campus. I was an extrovert and enjoyed meeting new people. But not anymore. It was a warm Saturday night. I was
Maybe
drinking
an extrovert,
lemonade
but
sitting
I'm
in
not
a cafe
cookies.
when I got a text from a guy.
No.
For the sake of the story, let's call him Andrew. He said he too went to the same college as me and got my number from a friend. After chatting with him for a bit, he said he was near my location and wanted to meet. It sounded rushed, but I was alone and needed some company. I texted him my exact
That's
location
kinda
and waited for his
sweet.
arrival. After 10 minutes, he walked into the cafe. He was a tall, handsome guy who looked exactly like the picture. Having the first green flag, I waved at him, and he smiled. He sat down at my table and we started talking.
Good that you were close by.
Yeah, thank God I decided to take my truck to the car wash.
Girl, if you think that
You're funny.
is handsome,
Within the next
I'm
20
sorry.
minutes, we were holding hands like high schoolers. There was something about him that was just really attractive to
if
me.
you think that is handsome, I'm sorry.
We had dinner and went for
I'm
a
sorry.
long drive in his car.
I'm
He had
genuinely
this black
sorry
pickup truck, which he said was a gift from his dad.
that you have to fall in love with
After
stuff
fooling
like that.
around in random
sorry.
streets, Andrew pulled over the vehicle under a tree.
sorry.
So, you want to go hiking?
What? Right now? But I didn't even bring my stuff.
He pointed at this big rucksack in the back seat and said he loves night hiking, so he always carries his things. So far, there were no red flags, so I agreed. Andrew said he forgot his flashlight, but the camping ground was close. Also, he knows his way around these woods. Hence, the moonlight
I'm
would
not
be
sure if
enough
I
for
have the
him to find
exact
the way.
color that I
I
need,
trusted him.
but you know,
I didn't think
my
things
nubby
were going to go
eye.
bad.
But whatever.
When we were walking
whatever.
into the woods,
Fine.
it was dark and scary.
I'll be
I could see
when I get all the
fireflies.
colors.
Good
Yeah,
riddance.
I just
A
gotta
chill ran
color
down my
it.
spine.
I just colored it like off
recognized
camera
his voice as the man
because
with the guy phone, confirming that those unhinged
be, like,
animals
kinda
gaslit
harder
me to the brink of
because like my
insanity,
marker is dying,
just
so that's why I
they could
colored
get
this
me to
down.
move out. I stood on the sidewalk, my arms crossed as I watched the parade pass by. July 4th wasn't my favorite time of the year, but the festivities always made it a bit better.
Usually
I
hanging
just
out
finished watching the
with
marching band when I noticed something strange. A man in an Uncle Sam costume was staring at me, directly across from me, and
Now,
he seemed to be walking along with the parade. He was wearing a full face mask, but I could see his eyes and mouth. His eyes were dark and black with white shining highlights. His teeth crooked and yellow, and his top hat was tattered. Still, he glided with the parade as he danced and pirouetted along, ever closer to my side of the street. I felt uneasy, but assumed it was just part of the show. And with another performer putting on a dizzying gymnastics show, I quickly forgot about the strange man in the Uncle Sam outfit and clapped with everyone else. Quite the show, isn't it?
Yeah, they really did well this year.
The parade ended shortly after that, and I had already forgotten everything about the man in the Uncle Sam suit. But as I got into my car, I noticed him again, standing off in the distance, watching me.
and
His eyes seemed to pierce through me, and I felt a chill run up my spine. I shrugged it off as mere paranoia and tried to focus on the traffic. If you've ever been in traffic directly after a July 4th parade, you'll know the cars are virtually at a standstill. So, when the man began to approach me from a distance, I hurriedly pressed the lock on my doors. And then I pressed it again, making sure all my doors were locked. He was already at my window, tapping at it with a wild grin on his face. I nearly recoiled in disgust, but I managed to compose myself. Maybe he just wanted to ask for money for his performance. I rolled my window down a crack. Hey, baby, I saw you all performing. I was wondering if I could get your number.
Nope.
I couldn't pass up on a cutie like you.
Well, that's too bad for you.
Sure, I guess.
I know that was stupid of me, but I wasn't thinking at that moment. I figured I'd just give him my number and he'd leave me alone. Little Little did I know that this was a fatal mistake.
Now he's got your
I drove back
address.
home, my
Wow,
mind
not
running a
surprising.
million
That
miles
always
an
happens.
hour. I was busy with work and I didn't even remember that creepy performer. I figured he'd call or text me. I'd ignore his call, and that would be that. The funny thing about phone numbers that I learned afterward, though, is that they can be used to find your address. If someone has their number, all it takes is a reverse search and they can know everything about you. Lying in bed later that night, I was drifting off to sleep when I jolted awake. A loud crashing noise echoed through the house. I figured it was just my cat, but I hoped he hadn't spilled anything. Sighing, I climbed out of bed and walked down the long hallway toward the stairs. As I did, I felt a weird, empty pit in my stomach. I'm not sure why, but I felt like something was wrong. I got goosebumps and a feeling of
Because it wasn't
dread
your
set
cat,
in.
Johnny.
For some reason, I didn't want to see what was down those stairs. Still, I dismissed this feeling as nonsense and rounded the corner. As I did, my heart dropped. The man in the Uncle Sam costume was rummaging through my things, no longer wearing his strange outfit. Still, his black eyes and yellow teeth were unmistakable. Now that he was no longer wearing his mask, I could see his face. I couldn't help it. I let out a scream. His face was mutilated, covered in scars and cuts, his lips hanging off one side of his face. He fixed his gaze on me and started walking towards me, a menacing look in his eyes. Shouldn't have given me your number, baby. Shouldn't have done that.
Get the hell away from me. What do you want?
I want to know you, baby. I'll leave if you can tell me about yourself.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Oh my god, this
I
marker's dying
didn't know
too.
what else to do. He was at the top of the stairs next
I need
to
to give
me
me some
now,
new alcohol
and he
markers,
loomed
bro.
above me. His wild
Okay, wait, that
face
makes
was enough to make me want to rip away and run. But where would I go? Where could I hide from him? He stared into my eyes and asked me a million questions. He wanted to
Just
know where
wait.
I worked, who
You'll
my friends
find out
were,
why
and
I'm
what I
doing
liked
this.
to do. His questions became more intense and demanding. He wanted everything from me. Finally,
You
he let
took
out a guttural scream
everything
and lunged
from
at
me.
wildly. You're
Nuh-uh.
perfect! I need you!
You're perfect
I
for the
dodged to the side,
sacrifice.
but I felt his cold and sweaty grip on my arm. He
Ew.
tried to drag me towards an
Oh my
open
god, ew,
window.
ew.
I screamed, struggling against his grasp.
Get away from me, big
Suddenly,
bug.
the sound of sirens filled the air. I saw flashing red and blue lights from the window, and the man must have seen it too. He let go of my wrist, anger spreading over his face. You're betraying me? You need to love me!
Girly pop. You don't even have the other half of your face.
Footsteps
It's
outside
literally
me.
skinned off
The
of
man
you.
wildly grabbed
What
me,
do you mean?
holding me close to him desperately. I'll hurt her.
What do you mean,
Stay
Phoebe?
away!
Girly pop, what do you
Before he
mean?
could do anything, the police burst through the door and tackled him to the ground. After he was restrained, they asked me a few questions, and I told them everything. It turns out that after the parade, Robert Crimo, I learned his name when the police took him away, had actually been reported for suspicious behavior. The police had tracked him down using his phone, which he had been using to search for my number and other weird things. The police told me it was lucky that someone else had noticed how weird he was acting. If it wasn't for that, who knows what might have happened to me.
Ew, I hated
After
that
a
sound.
few days, the police finally released me and allowed me to go back home. I've been more aware of my surroundings ever since then, and I'm always keeping an eye out for suspicious activity. The weirdest thing about Robert Crimo, however, wasn't his creepiness or
He has
even
only
his
half a face.
behavior. The weirdest thing was that he seemed to think I was special or perfect in some way. To this day, I still don't understand what he saw in me. But
I mean, girl,
according to
you
the
is kinda
police,
pretty,
it
but, like,
could have been so much worse.
Everybody's
According
pretty.
to documents they found on his phone, he had plans to commit atrocities at that parade.
Oh.
And the only thing that changed his mind was me.
Whoa, you saved lives.
When I was a
We're not
sophomore
just
in
telling
college, I
stories,
was
we're
friends with this
changing
guy named
lives.
Steven that wanted to start a popular YouTube channel.
Oh,
During our
okay.
freshman
Good for
year,
him.
we
That
were
delicious.
dorm mates, and he would talk about his channel all the time,
Okay,
trying to
slay.
get me to give him input on video ideas. I always thought he was pretty uncreative, but he did have
That's
a
kinda rude.
somewhat entertaining personality. Of course, I was a big part of his first handful of videos. However, after we moved in with different people the next year, I stopped being in his videos and didn't hang out with him as much. That was until he hit me up to do a McDonald's mukbang video, because none of his other roommates wanted to do it. even
Yeah, I
though
don't
he
wanna
was
do it either,
offering
bro.
to pay for
Go
all
away.
the food. Honestly, I always thought the concept was dumb, but as a broke college student, I found it difficult to say no to a day's worth of free food, so I agreed. The next Saturday, we met up at his dorm. As soon as I saw Steven for the first time
Oh,
in months,
my
I
God.
was shocked to see that he had dressed up as Ronald McDonald. Clearly, this was for a visual gag, but he did a terrible job on the costume.
All right, buddies.
He looked like a dollar store nightmare version of the real Ronald
Done.
McDonald, or like a roadside junkie who robbed a party city and went crazy with a paintbrush. To be fair, it
Thank
made
you,
me
dude.
burst out laughing immediately, which made us both more hopeful that it would be a successful video. We put together his filming set so we could start as soon as we got back. Then we got into his car and drove to the nearest McDonald's. I've always felt bad whenever I made life more difficult for people working in the fast food industry. I could hear the deep sadness and the intense loathing in the voice of the drive-thru worker when Steven ordered 2 of everything on the menu. Of course, it almost took an hour for them to complete our entire order, during which time Steven vlogs some of the behind-the-scenes action. Once we finally got our obscene amount of food, we drove straight back to the dorm and covered the entire folding table with a ridiculous display of McDonald's. Then we sat down and started filming and got to
It was Usher,
We
y'all.
both fasted all day and skipped dinner the night before, so we would be super hungry whenever we got to the mukbanging, which meant we started out eating very quickly. I've never been a big fan of McDonald's, but those first 3 or 4 burgers were delicious. After about 1,000 calories, though, I started to slow down. On the other hand, I don't know what
Ichiro.
Steven was on, but he was like a bottomless pit.
Crap.
He wasn't slowing down
wasn't
for
enough for him.
anything. He kept egging me on to keep going.
What are you slowing down for, bro? Go big or go home.
It's so much food, man. We barely made a dent.
Exactly. That's why we can't quit now. We haven't even gone through the burgers.
If I eat one more burger right now, I'm never gonna eat another burger in my life.
Fine, you big baby. I'll finish the burgers. You get started on the nuggets.
All right. By then, the
Yo.
nuggets were cold and tasted like cardboard. The only thing that made them
You
edible
gonna
was
give me a
dipping
day's
them
worth of
in an
McDonald's
excess
food?
amount of sauce.
Girl, I
ate
don't
10
care how
nuggets
full I
and
am.
then
I'm
stuck
eating
a
it
bunch of
all.
fries because
I'm
I
a
couldn't
baby.
stomach anything else.
I don't care
Before
how full I
long,
am.
was
I'll
starting
eat
to
it.
feel physically ill. I
This
put
is
my
him.
head on the table just for Steven
I'm
to start
really proud
flipping
of
out
like
on
this
me.
little color right here, cause like
Can't sleep.
right here,
Look
because
at
I
all this
didn't.
food that's left.
Okay, why is his head kind of
Hurry,
big?
man. Go
Oh
big
my
or go
God,
home.
bro, your head is
I
humongous.
just can't.
I'm sorry,
I
but
think I'm
like
gonna throw up.
this musty
Only
odd
if you
chair, bro.
stop. You gotta keep stacking food on top to push down the stuff on the bottom.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think that's how it works, man.
Shut up! Stephen McDonald knows best. Isn't that
I'm
right,
gonna draw him
folks?
again
Look at
because
this quitter. Everyone
can't.
boo the quitter.
Who are you talking to, bro?
The
Myself.
audience, duh.
Oh, man. I think I'm gonna be sick.
Gay.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh, no,
Oh.
you don't.
I tried to get up so I could go throw up in the toilet, but Steven jumped up and grabbed me.
Oh,
We're not going anywhere.
that's
Keep
delightful.
Then
eating.
he started
Okay.
shoving McChickens into
Okay.
my mouth. And out of
You got me
everything on
there.
the McDonald's menu,
But that is not a
I hated
crime.
McChickens the most. There's just so much mayo and soggy lettuce. It's
The reason why
disgusting.
I'm drawing him again
Eat it. Go big or go home.
is because his head was a little big that time.
I tried to get Steven off of me, but it felt like the blood in my veins was turning into concrete. I didn't even have time to swallow
No,
one
it's turning into
chicken before
McDonald's.
he shoved the next one into my mouth. I couldn't even breathe. Once I started choking and gagging, it was over. A whole bunch of my stomach contents came up and it couldn't get past the blockage in my throat, so it all came out my nose. Of course, Steven thought that this was hilarious footage. He finally let go of me and I fell to the floor as he went to grab the camera for some close-up shots of my embarrassing condition.
Look at this loser. You see, folks, this is what happens when you disappoint the Stephen McDonald.
What's wrong with you, man? You're sick.
What's that? I can't hear you over the sound of you failing the mukbang challenge.
Steven even
Dude,
started throwing food at
are
me
you
and
okay?
making sounds like How To Basic. That's when I knew I had to get out of there. As soon as I cleared my airways enough to breathe, I started crawling for the door. Steven filmed me, laughing like a sicko the whole time. I finally got to my feet and ran out the door. I stumbled home looking like a complete mess. Obviously, I never associated with Steven again, and I reported his video, and it got taken down.
I was flying solo to see family for Easter one year when I had one of the worst encounters with a creep I've ever experienced.
Accidentally
I
knocked
first
him
saw
over.
him during my layover. It was in the middle of the night because I opted for a red-eye flight with a 3-hour layover at a small airport to save money. It was the first time I'd been there. The whole place was eerily empty and quiet due to the time and flight restrictions back then. I was hoping to catch some Z's while I waited for my next flight. I thought it would be easy. The only people sitting near me were a younger couple cuddling to my left and a man laying down to my right, who was minding his business perfectly and not bothering me at all. However, right as I was dozing off, I sensed an approaching presence and my eyes flicked open to see a guy creeping towards me, clearly trying not to be noticed. I froze with my eyes open and stared as he continued totally unfazed. Getting caught actually made him smile. His teeth were jagged and covered in thick, nasty plaque, and he had a huge broken nose with boils on the nostrils. The rest of his face was riddled with acne too. His hair was unkempt and greasy to match, and altogether,
what the
it looked
fuck?
like he just got out of high school after graduating on the 5th try. Before long, he was far too close for comfort.
Stop. What are you doing?
Oh, you startled me. Don't yell at me like that.
I startled you?
Boy.
You're the one coming up on me like you're trying to steal my bag.
I would never. You don't really think I'd be that type of guy to do that, do you?
I was so floored by how ridiculous he was that I couldn't think of anything to say. He used the pause as an opportunity to sit right next to me.
Excuse me? Did I say you could sit next to me?
Don't be such a Karen. Well, actually, you look more like a Stacy in those pajama pants.
Don't look at my pants. I don't want to talk to you. I'm trying to sleep.
I just wanted to ask if you were also going to Boston. But it's a silly question, isn't it? Why else would you be waiting for the plane to Boston?
Leave me alone already before I pepper spray you, you creep.
You don't have any pepper spray. The TSA
Boy.
confiscated it.
Oh.
Remember? You're unarmed, sugar.
Suddenly, the blood drained from my face.
Oh.
How did he know that? I kept thinking. He must have been behind me in the security line at the last airport, which meant he'd been following me and watching me the whole time. Right about then is when I reached over and shook the man sleeping next to me until he woke up.
Are you threatening me?
Huh? What's going on?
Babe, this man is making me uncomfortable.
What? Who? Come on, man. Who do you think you are? That's my wife you're talking to. Get out of here before we have a problem, you greasy loser.
Thankfully, the creep didn't talk back and walked away pouting. I'd never spoken to that other guy in my life, but I'm glad he was quick to see what was going on and helped me out. I thanked him profusely for pretending to be my husband for a moment, then I let him go back to sleep. I was not able to relax after that, however. The whole time, I could see that
Hold on.
ugly jerk staring at me from the next gate over. I hoped that he wasn't about to get on the same flight as me, but despite my prayers, When they called us to board, he got in line behind me. I breathed a sigh of relief when it turned out he booked a ticket for a seat 10 rows in front of mine. Otherwise, I would have been stuck with him
Why his
breathing
arms
down my
kinda long,
neck for the
though?
entire
His arms
flight.
is-
It was about
Oh,
3
wait,
in the
this
morning when
looks
we
good.
finally took off,
Okay, that looks
and I
kind
was
of
exhausted. A few minutes into the air, and
I'm
I
gonna end the
finally
video
got
here.
comfortable enough
I will
to
do
fall
part 2
asleep.
where I finish
I
the
ended
drawing,
up
but
being
I'm
out
kind
for
of,
the entire flight.
my arms kind
I
of hurt a
woke
little
up a
bit,
few
so I'm gonna
minutes
take a little
before
break.
landing.
I'll post part 2.
To the sound of the